GamingBolt presents 15 most evil things that Mario has ever done. Mario is one of, if not the most illustrious icon in gaming. He's been around for decades with tons of games to support his legacy. However, he's also evil as all sin, committing atrocity after atrocity for his own personal gain. Let's take a look at 15 of the most evil things Mario has done in his career. Locking up Donkey Kong. Ever wonder what Mario did after rescuing Daisy in the first Donkey Kong? Well, he lifts the primate away in a cage, imprisoning and likely preparing him for further torture. We get the whole aspect of Donkey Kong throwing barrels and stealing Mario's girlfriend, but do the King Kong references really have to go this far? Abusive ringleader. Unbeknownst to many players, Donkey Kong's Circus released as a game and watch title after Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. The timeline is a bit weird in that regard, but the fact remains that Mario, playing the ringleader for a circus, forces Donkey Kong to perform tricks under great stress. If he messes up, Mario berates and laughs at him because it's a me or some other such garbage. Stopping Donkey Kong Jr. After seeing his father stolen away by a crazed plumber, Donkey Kong Jr. goes on a mission to save him. Keep in mind that this is an infant ape going on a quest to save its parent. So, of course, Mario does everything in his power to stop the child. Given how Donkey Kong Jr. released in 1982 and Donkey Kong Circus arrived in 1984, we can only assume that Mario was successful in keeping the family apart. What a hero. Mass murder. If you check out the Super Mario Bros. Manual, then an interesting little fact comes up. When Bowser and his minions are wreaking havoc through the land, all the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom are turned into blocks. What is Mario smashing all the time? Yep, that's right, blocks. You'd think it couldn't get worse, but it does. Cannibalizing toads. For example, have you ever noticed how the mushrooms that give Mario power seem to resemble the heads of toad people? Let's assume that these aren't alive. That still doesn't change the fact that Mario is consuming the heads of toad corpses to empower himself like it's some kind of addiction. Mass Murder, Part 2. And what does Mario do with that addiction? Well, he uses it to annihilate Bowser's minions, many of whom don't actually fight back. You could argue that these fools conscripted themselves into a war and knew the consequences. But at least they're fighting for survival. When Mario can just skip right by and avoid them, why does he instead choose to jump on them and crush them? For points? Immortality via one-up mushrooms? His own kingdom. Immortality would make sense because in the Super Mario Land games, Mario has his own kingdom. Did you think this plumber was humble and generous with all those collected coins? Nope, he's got a castle with its own logo and citizens under him. On top of being despotic, the man's clearly egotistical, but hey, his arch-nemesis Wario is a lot worse, right? Wario's bully. When we first see Wario, he's described as an evil version of Mario. In the second Super Mario Land, Wario brainwashes the various denizens of Mario Land, making him the ruler and Mario the enemy. But why does he hate Mario so much? As explained in a short comic in Nintendo Power, Mario was a real jerk to Wario in their childhood. From constantly getting Wario into mishaps to mocking him, Mario just couldn't stop being a jerk, even as a child. What did Mario say at the end of it all? To simply let bygones be bygones. At this point, we might as well cheer for Wario. Yoshi murder. On top of bullying, vanity, murder, and animal cruelty, it only makes sense that Mario would diversify his villainy. Instead, he goes right back to animal cruelty. Every time he earns a Yoshi, ready and willing to help him, he's always doing something to get it killed. And for what? To save himself? Or get a little extra height on some jumps? Yoshi abuse. When Mario commandeers Yoshi, he's always punching and forcing him to eat enemies. Sure, Yoshi's digestive system can handle it, but after his tribe helped Mario survive as a baby and reunite with his brother in Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, this is the thanks that he gets? Ditches Luigi for Peach. At the end of New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii, Mario manages to save Princess Peach again with the help of Luigi and 2 toads. Luigi decides to procure a hot air balloon so they can all evacuate in peace. So of course, the coward Mario ditches his brother and takes the balloon for himself to be alone with Peach. Awful plumber. Adding to the list of terrible things that Mario's done in his career, it's also important to clarify that he's a plumber first and foremost. Have you seen all the pipes in the Mushroom Kingdom and how they're crawling with enemies? Whose job is it to keep those pipes clean? Surely the plumber Mario, but instead he's busy hoarding coins, caged animals, hogging princesses to himself and whatnot. Quack Doctor. Oh, but there's more. In the Dr. Mario series, Mario actually dons a medical coat and stethoscope to become a doctor. He combats brutal viruses by lobbing pills at them. No diagnosis, no moderation, nothing. Even worse, Nintendo has clarified that Mario is not an actual doctor. The viruses may die, but what state does that leave his victims in? Harassing innocent Wiggler. On a side note, remember the time Mario decided to randomly flood a Wiggler's house in Super Mario 64, and then assaulted the Wiggler for a star? There isn't even the excuse of him needing the star to save Peach, since there are many, many more in the game. It's probably the least terrible offense of Mario's, but still evil all the same. Possession. Super Mario Odyssey was nicknamed Grand Theft Auto Mushroom Kingdom when it was first announced. It's not a bad description considering the range of crimes you can pull off, from scooter jacking to random violence. However, the worst of it all is Mario's ability to possess other beings using Cappy, forcing them to do whatever he wants. If Mario decides to throw your body into lava after his task is complete, them's the breaks. You shouldn't have lived in the same world with this wandering psychopath.
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from GamingBolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.